Hello and welcome to the first icTeach in 10, covering the 6 modules that allow you to become a Microsoft educator in under 10 minutes. So starting off with the first of those 6 units, Teach Forward Best Strategies for Hybrid, Remote and Blended Learning. First of all, some terminology to remember. First one, pretty straightforward, remote learning. We all remember remote learning. Lockdown, Teams meeting, PowerPoint. It got a little bit better, but it was pretty one-way traffic. We introduced some breakout rooms, there was Pear Deck and some forms, so you got a little bit of interaction going. But the principle is, of course, one person, the teacher perhaps in school or at home and other pupils elsewhere, remotely learning. So what's hybrid learning? Well, do remember for the end that it's not blended learning. Hybrid learning is a mixture of when we do learning all together at school or on campus, when also then there is some degree of remote learning. So it might be also when we're moving from a lesson activity on laptops that began at school and then the pupils complete that activity independently at home remotely. Hybrid learning. Well, blended learning really is a term for telling you what we do when we use variety within our lessons, have different activities to mix things up. So whole group instruction, independent learning, small group work and assessment. It really isn't anything that you haven't been doing for years and years. This module focuses though on how technology can help aid and enhance that. Just a little bit more terminology, blended learning arc. So this is where you follow a process through lessons, the teacher and the student on different paths. You start together at the beginning with group discussion. That then might move into pupils doing independent work whilst the teacher is checking in on students. And as the teacher continues to do that, they might shift to another activity like some collaborative work. Ultimately, often lessons are ending with group discussion, perhaps a plenary of some sort. So how can we use technology to aid and enhance these different learning approaches within lessons? Well, you could use Flipgrid in conjunction with Teams. So Flipgrid is flipped learning, an opportunity to give students the chance to lead, give them a research topic, and they can be given some instructions and then record a video showing their understanding of a topic. So in this instance, I've organised a civil rights presentation. They've got their resources here. They can add their video response. If I press that button, then you get a screen that will come up and ask you to use your microphone and computer, and that then allows students to upload a video showing their understanding of things. The great thing about this is that it also allows you to go to Teams, and that can then be set as a assignment, which immediately uploads your videos into assignments and grades, or you can just share to the chat as well. You could also use OneNote in Teams. Now this is a really simple idea. On a OneNote page, you might map out different pupils' names and then draw discussion paths connecting the lines between pupils and who's going to speak next, adding points to track ideas and notes along the outside, allowing students to get a really good record of a group discussion. A final simple approach would be to use Teams posts. So all students can contribute within Teams posts, and as with debating, if students are given some rules and guidance on thinking before they post, it can be a really effective way to begin or end a lesson. You can also use technology to help students do independent work. One example of this would be using assignments in Teams. Although we often use this to set work for an entire group, there are lots of other possibilities. So you can, of course, set tasks for the whole group, but you can also set tasks for individuals, and you can also set tasks for groups of individuals. So that can be done randomly or by picking pre-selected groups. Another application which is well worth a look is Wakelet, which can also be used in conjunction with Teams. Now, Wakelet is a great way in which you can bring together lots of different resources from all over the web just by starting up a new collection on a topic and then pasting the web bar address. So this is multimedia, you've got Twitter, BBC Sounds, a video, something from Encyclopedia Britannica, BBC Bite Size. So you can imagine that you can curate your own research area here as well. Now, the great thing about this is that you can then share that to students through the post of Teams, or you can create an assignment with that. And better still, you can also go into OneNote, and if you just literally type in the URL and press return, then that will appear on your OneNote page as digital content, which actually plays within the page. So that allows you to scroll through, and that really does mean that you've opened up a portal onto the digital world with curated content that you can bring together too. What about using technology to assist small group work? Well, there's plenty of options here too. You could use group PowerPoints in Teams. So here I am in my team. I've gone to the files section in the general channel, and I've just literally added a PowerPoint presentation blank, and I've changed the names then to the names of 4 pupils, or abbreviated versions of 4 pupils in each of my groups. They're doing a cyberbullying presentation. They all know that if they just press on here, they can work on their area, and here they are across the top. So you can see that their work's there. You can see the slides down the left-hand side, and you can see then pupils working in real time on their presentations. Another alternative is to just set up groups within Teams channels. This is a good way in which you can direct groups on a topic. Each group will have their own posts section, files area, and OneNote page where they can record their ideas. Technology could also be used to assist check-ins. Bit more terminology for you here. Synchronous versus asynchronous check-ins. Synchronous is when you're both there at the same time. Asynchronous where you both are out of sequence but pick up on a chat later on. So this is really helpful. In my example here is an EPQ student developing his ideas for their project and me giving feedback there as well. Obviously the pupil there having the ability to reflect rather than writing instantly. Some other examples here also are creating form surveys to see how people feel about areas, or quizzes which might then be used for formative assessment purposes. And the reflect area I'm going to show you another time, but here you can see by emotion how people are feeling about their presentation. And there's also the together view that we talked about, or you can see also in there too. And finally, the slide that no presentation should have, one with lots of text on it. Pause this if you want to, but there's just many different ways in which you can use a variety of different technology platforms, many of them within Microsoft and Teams, in order to assess pupils' learning as well. We can again look at each of these in a bit more detail, but I'm sure if you scan down the left-hand side, some of those at least are areas you've used previously. That's the condensed version of this module completed then, and you should now be able to complete the knowledge check on the blended learning module, completing the first step towards becoming a Microsoft educator.
So we go to the Microsoft Learn Education Center, type that into Google. When you land, you should be on this page. Check over on the right-hand side to see sign in. Do that with your Solihull School email address. You should then get this replacement icon, and that should show you that you've logged in. Once you've done that, in the search bar, type in Microsoft Educator Academy. This module comes up. Scroll down to this first unit that the video has been covering in the last 10 minutes. Best strategies, hybrid, remote, blended learning. Click on Start. Once you've done that, you'll see that there are 10 pages to go through. We've covered all of this information in the video, so click on each of these to show that you understand them. Eventually, you will get to number 10, which is the knowledge check. Hopefully, you'll be able to answer those questions from having listened to the video and also complete Unit 11 too. That should then mean that the badge should arrive for you. Now you can check that you've got that by clicking on your profile picture and then pressing profile. This page of achievement comes up. Now, if you highlight the URL page at the top, or the banner at the top there, that is a copy then of your training in the Microsoft Learn Education Center. So if you send that to me, then I can see that you've completed this as well. The badge should appear in the list of achievements, and then you can see it is completed and done. So that's all it is. Hopefully that's been straightforward enough. Please do let me know if you want to know anything about what we've covered in this session today or this badge. I'm more than happy to help.